Hey everyone. Today we're gonna have a short discussion and interview with Dogma, anarcho peace punk band from Ottawa, Ontario, formed in 2007. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Steph. I'm the vocalist.
I'm Justin. I do backing vocals and guitar.
Uh-huh. Oh, um, I was looking at your Bandcamp and noticed that you have three releases. One was a demo from 2018, a new world. I mean demo, then a new world order 2019, then the new album, which is I don't know if there's a title to it, but you posted on your social media you were holding a test pressing. Did the album came out yet or?
Yes, we got the test pressings, and we were just waiting to hear back from Gary from Grow Your Own Records. He was just waiting for the actual final copies to be like shipped out to him. So I would assume we'll probably have them. I would say mid-October, like physical copies for sale. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Is it going to be one of those album come with like posters and all these brochure?
Yeah, so Grow Your Own Records actually were like put so much work into it. They made like a booklet for our lyrics, a little poster from our demo, like the one you have in your background,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and of course our LP. So it's a pretty nice package.
Yeah, I think there's like a download key that comes with it, and I think the other member, Steph, yeah, I think she pressed like a couple small little buttons to go in like each LP. So yeah, I think there's like a sticker as well or something. It's yeah, they did a really like wonderful job. We're really grateful for all the work that they did.
I was really blown away. I was telling my friend Jacoby about it because I found you online. When I first saw the band logo, I was thinking, gosh, it's gonna probably sound like four chord discharge style over and over. That's what I thought. And then I listened to the back house. Well, wow, this is amazing. Then later on I called Jacoby from beginning to end bands. I was talking to him. This band's amazing, really good. Your sound and everything. What was your influence? What band influenced you to play like that? Like really musical. I love it.
For me personally, it's always been like Omega Tribe, obviously. Yes,
Cool.
and Exit Stance have always been really big influences. Also, I'm like a huge fan of like Underdogs, so
Uh-huh.
there's definitely like a UK '82 ish element as well. Yeah, so it's kind of a mixture of I would say those three bands all combined into one. For me personally, I'm sure the rest of the band would have like a maybe a different opinion on what influenced them.
Yeah, for me it's like a lot of feminine vocals like Haggard the Womb, Dirt, Lost Cherries, and like of course like early '80s anarcho punk bands, The Mob, Anthrax, etc.
Wow, that is really awesome, amazing. But what is a punk scene like in your area?
So we're a really small city compared to Montreal, because we're like situated between Montreal and Toronto, closer to
Uh-huh.
Montreal, but it's a pretty small city, and it's a government city too. But we've worked really hard over the years at like, people work really hard at creating bands and keeping the DIY alive. Unfortunately, we used to have a lot of more like punk houses for shows, but
Uh-huh.
gentrification has gotten really bad. So we have one punk house left, and it's called Funeral Home, but they've been like amazing. So it's been pretty great.
Were these like punk rock anarchist co-op houses or just regular punk houses?
Yeah, for the most part, like a lot of these houses would like have like they would like use their living rooms or basements to like host um like collective meetings, like potlucks for like the community.
Uh-huh.
Um, First and foremost, it was like just like a space because venues were just like so expensive to like rent at times that they had very large scale living rooms or basements. So we were able to have gigs with give or take 60, 70 people here and there depending on the size of the place. Yeah.
Wow. Speaking of since gentrification and everything, what about is there like a small squatting movement there in Canada or anything?
Not
The
really.
squatters. Okay.
Unfortunately, not.
People in Montreal have tried for many, many years, but yeah, as you know, in North America, it's so much different and so much more militarized policing, and gentrification is so much more advanced here than in Europe. It's very very complicated to get your hands on a building that's been abandoned. Like we have like a law here that states you can't access for squatters' rights unless a building's 21 years old. Since sometimes it's really hard to prove how long a building's actually been vacant. So yeah, it's not really a common thing where we live now.
Wow. Yeah, I noticed that gentrification has been going all over the country now, even in London and everywhere. And it's
Yeah,
for harder punks to have gigs and stuff like squat gigs and all that. But
yeah.
by looking at your social media, it seems looking at flyers, festivals, and everything, it looks like you have a huge scene, like a big scene and stuff. I want to talk to you about a festival I saw. It was a really amazing flyer. It's called have a good laugh fest.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that festival?
It's some really close friends of ours actually that we hold very near and dear. We had gone to the festival for a year or two prior, and our friend Tommy, who's one of the promoters, had heard our band, and I guess they had a collective meeting. And the following year, they invited us to come and play actually, and it was phenomenal. It was the same year, I believe, that it was icons of filth, Varukers, Fatum from Russia. Oh my, the name's slipping my mind now, but there was another classic UK '82 band that was one of the other. I think the last night headliner. But yeah, we really lucked out, and they took very good care of us. Very solid DIY festival run by lots of awesome like dudes and women and just wonderful people who put together like a very very awesome festival. Like I definitely recommend it if COVID ever leaves us alone and they do it again.
What was how was Icons of Filth?
I didn't have high expectations because I mean some of these reunion bands, you know, you always hope for the best because it's like a childhood love, and you're like, oh, I hope this is going to be good. They were actually really really quite wonderful. They played a really good set, I thought. And um I'm not sure who the vocalist was, if it was Stig's son or not, but whoever he was did a great job, and I honestly enjoyed it. They played almost the whole back catalog of the old stuff. It was wonderful, I thought.
Is there any new bands that we should know of, like any new anarcho bands?
The more actually, some of the organizers from Have a Good Laugh are part of the More, and that's another narco punk band from Vancouver, and they're really great. I don't know how active they are right now since COVID and stuff, but they're really awesome. You should check them out for sure.
Oh, another amazing fest I saw it on your social media was called here's a flyer. Not your Bay Fest. And
Yeah.
this one had like music and workshop, which is really cool. Tell us about your playing at the Not Your Bay Fest.
So yeah, like you said, like Not Your Babe is a feminist-run DIY punk festival, and it's just to promote like women in the punk scene. And I think that's really cool because sometimes it's a little yeah, it's not as well promoted, so it's really neat to see like a bunch of bands that were all like either female fronted or just like had female members in it, and the workshops are like really cool. And like I think it's super important to have these workshops, especially with like sexism and misogyny and like patriarchy. So it's a really solid fest. It was really really fun to play it.
Yes, I'm reading this off of the flyer, which is so cool. It says on workshop self-defense for woman, non-binary, and trans. Do any of you went to that self-defense workshop?
No,
We
unfortunately.
we were all pretty busy with like work and just
Uh-huh.
life stuff. I think we were really only able to arrive the night that we played.
Uh-huh.
But I have gone to previous years, like not with the band,
Uh-huh.
and I played with like one of my other bands like this year past, and I did sit on like the self defense is like a pretty common one that they do almost every year, just to like um, it's run by two women. I forget their name. Um, yeah, their names are slipping me, but one of them, I believe, is like has trained like Krav Maga for like many years.
Oh,
Um,
that that's that Israel martial art, right?
yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking that because me and my friends and I were really into self-defense. So I want to know, is it a self-defense doing orally or showing physically, or is it like light sparring, or just wondering?
It mostly shows, from my understanding of it, it's shock tactics. So it's like close combat. So if somebody grabs you, they show you multiple ways of just de-escalating physically, to a high extent and a low extent. How to disarm and like remove weapons.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not overly familiar with Krav Maga, but yeah, that from what I know, they were teaching very basic techniques if you were caught in an alleyway, etc., etc. Like I thought it was pretty cool that, and it's like a recurring theme I find that they have that the workshops almost every year.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I'm in Northern California, but my friends in a couple of my friends in LA and a couple of friends and stuff were really into like all kinds of stuff like judo, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu. Like my friends and I, we've been training for over 5 years and stuff. So
Awesome.
that's what I'm just asking.
It's great. It's great.
Also, there was a workshop how to build a safer and more exclusive punk community. I know everyone has different opinion about this. How would you answer to that if somebody asks, how do we build a safer and more exclusive punk community?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question, I think, right there by itself. You
I think
wanna?
even holding workshops like these, I think is really important. And also like listening to your community members and not giving any space to like racism, sexism, like homophobia, and all that bad shit. But yeah, it's kind of a full question, like it's hard to pinpoint what we should do, but definitely holding workshops and just being in touch with your community, I think is really important. Yeah.
I would add like also like I know a lot of people talk about like call outs, but I think call ins when you're discussing a victimizer or a really problematic person in the community. I think calling into your community, instead of posting it online, because then a lot of times um, victimizers will take a fight or flight, and they won't take the time to acknowledge what they did, being whether it was problematic or whether it was not. They'll flee to other cities. So the violence doesn't really stop, and problematic behavior doesn't stop. They just try to go somewhere else, and it just escalates. So I think as long as the community has a way of calling in and discussing what we should do for accountability process, yeah, I think that's the best way in my mind, anyways, that you could help to create like safe spaces.
Yes, I kind of saw that a couple weeks ago on social media. I guess it was some guy, he was hitting his partner. There were so many call outs and all over. Then I was thinking, wow, if this person gets kicked out from the scene and goes somewhere, he's going to continue this behavior unless
It won't
the
stop.
person
It's
gets counseling or
continual.
something. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Oh, another thing, this is really interesting. On Sunday, the last day of the fest, there was a what is a feminist flash tattoo day on Sunday.
I wasn't there for that, unfortunately.
I wasn't there, but I know two of my friends partake as tattoo artists.
Mm-hmm.
And this old venue that actually closed down this following year called Catacombs. It was actually a collective run by a majority of women. I don't know if you know Janek. She runs Varning Festival. It's one of the biggest festivals in our area for like international punk.
Burning
Um,
Festival?
Varning, yeah.
Oh wow, no, I never heard of it. Wow, that's like no.
You should definitely check it out because it's the festival is not planning on ending. It's just this wonderful co-op that they the rent got too expensive and the landlord didn't want to repair any major fixes to the building, so they let the space go, unfortunately. But yeah, you should check that out when you have like time on your own because they've ridiculous bands have played. But that old venue, what they did is they opened up the whole main floor in the venue space, and a bunch of different tattoo artists came in, and they had like very like affordable like flash tattooing and just like really cool like feminist like images and stuff that were like quite affordable for the community. So you could come in. There was like spots for each artist. It was like a 10-person slot or something like that. So anybody could come in and get like, 25-30% off, like a really awesome like feminist like flash tattoos and stuff like that.
I just found it. I just found the flyer. It's crazy. All these bands. But Matt Tinney's show goes on
Yeah,
Thursday.
we actually played the last year of Varning.
Do a lot of the punks from do you meet punks from America, like from California? Do they go there too?
Oh yeah. Like I've most of my American friends that I've been friends with over the last 8 to 10 years. I met them years and years ago at Varning. Like it's an international phenomenon. People come from everywhere to see bands play. Like last year was Ferocious X from Japan, Ignorantes from Chile, Final from Colombia, and Iril from Spain, where the
Oh,
headline is.
that's cool. There's like flea market and all that stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like I would say it's like an East Coast version of like Have a Good Laugh, but it's kind of like the dinosaur of that. Like this has been going, I think, like the last year was the 12th or 13th year, I want to say, that they've done that. Yeah, Janek and all the people who work with her are absolutely hardworking people. They're some of the coolest, most devoted people around our area for punk.
I noticed on your flyer you play with Flower. Remember Flower?
Yeah. Well,
The band from New York, Flower.
We didn't play with Flower last year. We played with Peace Talks.
I was sitting on the outside, Volume 3. You play with Flower.
yeah, okay. Yeah, we were supposed to play with Flower, and they had some type of family issue that one of the members had to tend to, so they never ended up coming to play the festival, unfortunately.
Have you both seen Flower?
No, I've never seen them live.
They hang a lot of banners, like you all the banners and stuff. Is there any other bands that hang tons of banners?
Yeah, I would say Conscripts, which is the vocalist is from Philly, I believe. I think he might live in Montreal now. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's kind of I guess for lack of a better term, an all-star lineup. I think Kyle was originally in a band from like a Bay Area band with Christian. Uh, the name of the band's leaving my mind. I'm pretty sure Jacobe was a part of this band. I think he played bass at some point in the band.
Yeah, because Conscripts are 3/4 from Montreal, and then Kyle is from the States. But yeah, they'll put a couple banners up, kind of thing too.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool anarcho punk band. Again, I don't know how active they are with COVID and like the travel restrictions, but again, a band you should definitely check out. They're quite a good band. Yeah.
Speaking of banners and everything, who is the artist for the band? It draws all the stuff.
Well, the banner that you have behind you was done by a friend of ours, Chris Goldsmith
Montreal.
from Montreal. Yeah, he did all the demo artwork for us, and that's where we took that centerpiece logo and did our like large scale banner with that. Yeah, he did the demo artwork, and then the artwork for our new LP, the self-titled Dogma LP, was done by a friend of ours who wants to remain by the name Fucker.
From Olympia. But
Oh.
it was originally actually it's kind of funny. Our LP art was done by Fucker, and like it was just after Have a Good Laugh last year. We did a small West Coast tour. Like we went to Olympia, Seattle, and Portland. And the art from the flyer from our Olympia show was like almost exactly from our LP. So we loved it so much. So we asked her to like use her art and stuff. So
Hey, you just mentioned you played in Olympia, right?
Yep.
That band, is it Estoril? They sound like Sacrilege. Did you play with that band?
No.
Oh gosh, what is their name? Estoril. I forgot the name. That, but they're really.
Friends?
Yes.
Well, yeah, we were actually supposed to play with them at the house show that we played, but I think one of the members was sick or under the weather, so they had to drop off. But we played with a band from Seattle called Lexicon, and there was this other really, I don't know how to describe the band. It was kind of crassy, but like not like with instruments. It was all very synth oriented. It was very noisy and chaotic, almost a little bit like D&V, like that Crass Records band.
It's just crazy how all these 80 bands are really popular now because of all the social media and everything. It's just amazing and stuff. And back to your band, I was listening to your new album online on the website, Bandcamp, but I can't see the lyrics or anything. I want to know what the song's about, like especially like Cage and Beauty. What are the lyrics about and stuff? And what do you think about on the new album?
So like the one we released for LP is called Austerity. I mean, austerity happens everywhere, but in Ontario, like our new premier is like really harsh on austerity measures, like cutting down disability pensions and pretty much cutting down everything that affects the poor and like hospitals and stuff like that. So that was like against austerity, and then we also sing about like
Cage does an animal rights song,
right.
actually. Almost everybody except for our drummer is vegan and vegetarian. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna probably think I'm taking the piss out of him, but he's a good sport about it. He doesn't eat that much meat.
Somehow it's always the drummers from other bands. What is that?
He needs more protein than he really needs.
What is that in the background after the bombs?
Oh yeah, that's the lady who's a friend of ours who does Varning, Jeanette. That's her old band after the bombs. She was the vocalist.
Oh, okay. I gotta check them
Like
out.
a stenchcore crust band from like the early 2000s from Montreal.
Oh, I see. What activism are band members involved in before this whole COVID-19 stuff?
I think a lot of us have like our friend Jeff is a promoter, or I mean our bassist Jeff is a promoter, and he also works at a bar slash like he works at a venue, but he's done a lot of fundraisers for like women's shelters and like SPCA, and we've all pretty much all been involved in like demonstrations against police brutality. This summer, like Black Lives Matter and like defunding the police kind of stuff. We've also been involved in like anti-racist action, do not bombs for a bit and stuff. So stuff like that.
That's cool. I noticed you have an amoeba's tattoo on your hand and stuff. I just want to ask this. Like, what do all the band members do for work? I'm guessing you have a cool job because they don't mind about your tattoos before the COVID-19 happened and all that on your hand. Like,
I haven't worked in quite a few years. Like I had an injury whenever I used to do professional roofing, and I slipped a disc in my back. So as of now, I'm on a disability pension for the time being because my injuries are long term and they're not going away. So I mean, on to make a couple bucks on the side here and there though. Like I do bike mechanic work for friends and friends of friends and family members of friends. Yeah, that's what I've done.
Yeah, I'm a banquet server, so I work at a hotel in like this club, and I do like serving. And our drummer is like a journalist, I guess a journalist.
We still don't really actually know what he does, but he has a really cool job. But he tries to explain it to us, but he's way smarter than us, and we just are like, we nod our heads and we say, cool.
And then our bassist Jeff, he works at he's a barback at this venue, and also he's a cashier at a little store.
Oh, cool. No, because I'm asking this because a lot of the younger punk rockers and stuff, they do online. They will sell all these bootleg patches and shirts and have their own business. Like, wow, this is crazy. They know so much about the whole internet and the social media and all that stuff. Okay, during this lockdown, what have you been up to during the lockdown? What have you been doing to keep yourself busy or doing stuff not to go too crazy?
So it was really a bummer when the lockdown happened because we had planned a European tour in the end of June, and of course we had to cancel it because we were starting in Italy, and the stuff in Italy was like out of control. So obviously we canceled it. So that was a big bummer, and we couldn't jam for like 3 months until the lockdown kind of eased down. So we've been doing a lot of gardening and like biking. Like the winters are really, really brutal here, so we've mostly been outside, to be honest, like just growing vegetables.
Oh, that's interesting. Where in Europe were you going to tour?
Well, originally, our friend Copa from this really awesome band, Horror Vacui, is a friend of ours, and I was making a joke, and he said, "Well, you know what? I'll talk to you in a week," and didn't hear back from him, and then all of a sudden, he just sent me this long list of like places, and it was we were originally supposed to start in Bologna, Italy. We were going to do 2 more dates in Italy, and then we were cutting through, I believe, Austria, France. We were doing Belgium, Holland, Germany. Then we were going to play this festival in Poland with Rubella Ballet. And then we were going to duck back down around through, I believe, the Czech Republic, cut back into Germany for the end of the tour, and then end 2 final dates in Italy.
Wow, that sounded really fun just hearing that. But have you both seen Rubella Ballet?
No, not live. No.
I heard they're awesome though. So many people saw them, and
we were very. Every single member of our band was like over the moon. We were like, wow, we're playing the same festival on the same night with Rubella Ballet, and we're one of the 2 headlining bands. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
The moon, yeah.
Like that's my childhood dream come true right there. We played with Icons of Filth. We played with Oi Polloi. So that was another bucket list band to check off the list.
Oh, I love Oi Polloi. I've been noticing all these times once in a while I check the social media. They've been speaking out so much about all kinds of issues, like nonstop, like goes
He,
on and on and on and
that
on,
man is
nonstop.
an absolutely phenomenal. That man's a fucking legend. Like he never stops. It's like he gets more political the older he gets. Where with a lot of old punks, I find that it's the complete opposite. But with him, he gets more angry as the years go on. He's like a Noam Chomsky of the Scottish anarcho punk scene. He gets more angrier the older he gets.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much for the interview and everything. I hope when all this COVID-19, everything lockdown and all this crazy stuff is over, I hope your band continues and go for your goals and touring, all that. Looking forward for your new album to come out and everything and all that. Okay.
Well, you know what? Just for reaching out and like giving us an awesome interview and a chance to like speak our minds, we'll try to send you a nice little care package once we have some stuff set up.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Don't hang up yet.